slap shit out of whoever trim. You play with my fan, you trim. You play with my money, you trim. They looking like, who is this nigga? Don't play with me, boy, I'm him.
Myles Garrett just earned one of the most prestigious honors in professional football. EA Sports named him to the exclusive Madden NFL 2699 club alongside just 6 other players. The Cleveland Browns defensive end joins Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Saquon Barkley, and Lane Johnson as the only players to receive the game's maximum 99 overall rating. But here's what makes this recognition particularly striking. Garrett stands as the lone defender among these Elite 7 players: 2 quarterbacks, 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, 1 offensive tackle, and 1 defensive end. That's it. The honor should represent the pinnacle of NFL recognition. Instead, it highlights a troubling pattern of concerning developments that have followed Garrett throughout recent seasons. The bad news keeps piling up, and this latest achievement might actually underscore deeper problems rather than celebrate success. Garrett's inclusion in the 99 club marks his return to the top tier after falling to a 98 rating in Madden 25. From 2022 to 2023, he held 99 overall status before that single-point drop. Now he's back, but the circumstances surrounding this return tell a different story than simple excellence. The 29-year-old recorded impressive statistics in 2024. He posted 47 total tackles with 40 solo efforts and 7 assists. His 14 sacks marked the second consecutive season reaching that number. He added 22 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 1 pass defended, and 28 quarterback hits. EA Sports assigned him an 87 speed rating, 96 strength rating, 86 agility rating, 71 change of direction rating, 92 injury rating, and 97 awareness rating in Madden NFL 26. These numbers reflect elite performance across multiple categories. But statistics don't tell the complete story. The 2024 season revealed significant concerns that continued into 2025. Garrett's 2024 statistics looked impressive on paper, but context matters. He battled a shoulder injury that significantly impacted his performance during the second half of the season. The injury didn't force him to miss games. Garrett refused to sit out, but it clearly affected his effectiveness. His snap count diminished as the injury lingered. The Browns had to manage his playing time, reducing his on-field presence when the team needed him most. For a player whose value comes from consistent pressure on opposing quarterbacks, limited snaps represent a major problem. The injury rating of 92 in Madden NFL 26 reflects these durability concerns. At 29 years old, Garrett's body is showing wear from 8 NFL seasons of high-impact collisions. Pass rushers typically face physical decline in their late 20s and early 30s. His college career at Texas A&M also featured injury problems. His junior campaign was derailed by injuries early in the season, though his previous performance was enough for the Browns to select him first overall in the 2017 NFL Draft. Early 2025 brought the most concerning development yet. Garrett publicly demanded a trade from the Cleveland Browns. The request sent shockwaves through the organization and fan base. Here was their franchise cornerstone, their 2023 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, actively seeking an exit. The demand raised immediate questions about Garrett's commitment to Cleveland and his satisfaction with the team's direction. Why would the lone elite defender on the roster want out? What internal issues prompted such a drastic request? Then came the stunning reversal. Just weeks after demanding a trade, Garrett signed a 4-year contract extension that became the richest non-quarterback deal in NFL history at the time. The dramatic flip from trade demand to record-breaking contract created more questions than answers. This followed his previous 4-year, $160 million extension signed in 2023, which had briefly made him the highest-paid non-quarterback in league history. The Browns had already committed massive resources to keeping Garrett, making his trade demand even more puzzling. The back-and-forth raises concerns about Garrett's decision-making and stability. Professional athletes don't typically make such public demands and then completely reverse course within weeks unless significant issues exist behind the scenes. Garrett's status as the only defender in the 99 club highlights another troubling reality. The Browns have built their defensive identity around one player. When that player struggles with injuries or considers leaving, the entire defensive unit suffers. Many fans believed reigning Defensive Player of the Year Patrick Surtain II deserved inclusion in the 99 club. His absence makes Garrett's selection feel somewhat hollow. Recognition by default rather than clear superiority. The Browns finished with defensive struggles in 2024 despite Garrett's individual success. His 14 sacks and 22 tackles for loss couldn't elevate a unit that lacked consistent playmakers at other positions. Cleveland's defensive rankings reflected this imbalance. Opposing offensive coordinators can game plan around a single elite defender more easily than a balanced unit. Double teams, chip blocks, and quick passing attacks neutralize even the best pass rushers when they lack support. At 29, Garrett has entered the typically challenging phase for defensive ends. Pass rushers rely heavily on speed, explosiveness, and physical tools that naturally decline with age. His 87 speed rating in Madden, while respectable, isn't elite for his position. Bruce Smith's 200 career sacks represent a distant target. Garrett has accumulated 102.5 career sacks through 8 seasons, putting him on pace for approximately 150 to 160 career sacks if he maintains current production. That assumes no further decline due to age or injury. His change of direction rating of 71 in Madden NFL 26 suggests some loss of lateral quickness. For a player who built his reputation on beating offensive tackles around the edge, any decline in agility becomes significant. The shoulder injury from 2024 may have lasting effects. Shoulder problems often recur for players who rely on upper body strength and arm usage in hand fighting with blockers. Garrett became the first Cleveland Browns player to receive a 99 overall rating in Madden when EA honored him in 2022. He retained that status in 2023 before the drop to 98 in Madden 25. The fluctuation demonstrates how quickly perceptions can change. The 99 club traditionally includes 2 to 7 players each year. This year's 7 members represent a changing of the guard. None participated in Madden 25's elite group. Garrett, Justin Jefferson, and Lamar Jackson each missed inclusion by a single point last season. Josh Allen became the first reigning MVP to start a Madden game with a 99 rating since the club's inception with Madden 20. This historical significance adds pressure on all members to justify their selections. The Browns have focused extensively on their offensive struggles, particularly at quarterback. This attention has overshadowed Garrett's presence. With all the offseason focus on the Cleveland Browns offense, mainly quarterback, it's almost become an afterthought that they have one of the game's best players on the other side of the ball in Myles Garrett. Cleveland's championship aspirations rest heavily on Garrett's continued excellence. He serves as the foundation of their defensive identity and playoff hopes. His ability to disrupt opposing offenses single-handedly gives the Browns a difference-maker few teams possess. But building around a single defensive player creates vulnerability. If Garrett's production declines, gets injured, or becomes truly unhappy, the entire defensive structure collapses. Despite accumulating 4 first-team All-Pro selections, 6 Pro Bowl appearances, and the 2023 NFL Defensive Player of the Year award, Garrett lacks the one achievement that defines great players: a Super Bowl championship. The Browns haven't reached the playoffs consistently during Garrett's tenure. Their organizational struggles have limited his opportunities to showcase his talents on the biggest stages. Individual accolades matter, but team success creates lasting legacies. At 29, Garrett's championship window is narrowing. Elite pass rushers typically have limited opportunities to contribute to Super Bowl runs. His trade demand earlier this year might have reflected frustration with Cleveland's inability to build a complete roster. Garrett's college statistics at Texas A&M showed impressive production before injury issues. As a freshman, he recorded 11.5 sacks, 14 tackles for loss, 53 tackles, and 9 quarterback hurries. His sophomore season featured 12.5 sacks, 19.5 tackles for loss, and 59 tackles. His junior campaign took a step back due to early season injuries, but the Browns had seen enough to make him the top overall selection. After 3 college seasons, he posted 84 solo tackles, 61 assists, 8.5 tackles for loss, 32.5 sacks, 5 pass deflections, and 7 forced fumbles. The pattern of injury concerns dates back to college. Professional football's increased physicality and longer seasons have compounded these issues. EA Sports releases Madden ratings by position group in most years. For Madden 26, they started with the 99 Club announcement on Monday, followed by rookie ratings on Tuesday, offense reveals on Wednesday, defense reveals on Thursday, and complete reveals with superstar X Factor abilities on Friday. Players typically receive commemorative gifts for 99 Club inclusion. EA has provided golden 99 Club cleats, golden video game controllers, and gold 99 Club chains in previous years.
Dylan has plenty of arm strength. I think he's been inconsistent. I think Shedeur has been mostly accurate on his good ones. When it leaves his hand, So they are very tradable, both Pickett and Flacco. Any other quarterback, they're way at the bottom end.
When your team's GM calls you out for not smart decisions just days into training camp, you know things aren't going according to plan. But here's the twist. Despite the controversy, Shedeur Sanders might actually be turning heads for all the right reasons in Cleveland. Let's start with what everyone's talking about. 2 speeding tickets. That's what landed Shedeur Sanders in hot water with Browns GM Andrew Berry just as training camp kicked off. We're talking 91 miles per hour in a 65 zone and 101 miles per hour in a 60 zone. Berry didn't mince words when reporters asked about it Thursday. "Not smart, that's just not smart," Berry told the media, and you could hear the frustration in his voice. "It's something that we have addressed with him. He understands the implications. He understands the consequences." But Berry wasn't done. He made it crystal clear this wasn't just about Sanders being reckless with his own safety. "I think the thing is, it's not just about yourself. It's not just about driving your car real fast. It's about the fact that you endanger other people. It's about the fact that if a deer or someone cuts out in front of you, like your reaction time." Head coach Kevin Stefanski echoed those concerns, emphasizing that all rookies need to make smart decisions whether they're behind the wheel or just out in the community. It's exactly the kind of maturity question that contributed to Sanders sliding all the way to the 5th round in the first place. Now, here's where things get interesting. While Sanders was dealing with this off-field drama, his dad Dion wasn't exactly staying quiet about the Browns quarterback situation. You've got to love Coach Prime, the man who once hit a home run and returned a punt for a touchdown in the same week back in 1989. The only athlete in history to pull that off. During draft night, when Shedeur pointed out that Cleveland had Joe Flacco, Dion couldn't resist dropping this line. "Flacco's my age." No direct shots fired, but if you're reading between the lines, the message was pretty clear. At 40 years old, Flacco isn't just a veteran, he's practically Dion's peer. And honestly, the math checks out. Flacco was drafted way back in 2008, won his Super Bowl with Baltimore in 2013, and get this, Shedeur was only 10 years old when that happened. When Dion made that comment, it wasn't just a joke, it was history speaking. But let's talk about what's really got people buzzing. Zach Jackson's latest reports from Browns training camp. Jackson, who covers the team for The Athletic, has been watching this 4-way quarterback battle unfold, and his observations about Shedeur are turning some heads. Going into camp, most people figured this was really a 2-man race between Flacco and Kenny Pickett for the Week 1 starting job, with rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders competing more against the playbook than each other. Jackson even said back in spring that Sanders probably couldn't win the job by September, noting he hadn't taken a single first-team rep. But 4 days into training camp, something started shifting. Jackson's been tracking every throw, every rep, every moment of this competition, and here's what he's seeing. In one particular Saturday morning drill, all 4 quarterbacks got 4 passes each in a 7-on-7 session. Collectively, they went 5 for 16. Not great, right? But here's the kicker. 3 of those 5 completions came from Sanders, all checkdowns in the final group of the drill. Then Sanders did something that made everyone take notice. He threw his first real highlight play of camp, a crossing route for a touchdown to undrafted rookie receiver Luke Floria in an 11-on-11 drill. But he wasn't done. Sanders followed that up with consecutive touchdown throws in red zone 7-on-7 work, leading to what Jackson described as the most prolonged period of completions near and in the end zone that we've seen in camp. Now, Jackson's been methodical about tracking reps, and the numbers tell an interesting story. After 4 days, Sanders had 26 reps in 7-on-7 situations and 19 in competitive 11-on-11 scenarios. Compare that to the other guys. Pickett had 18 and 31, Flacco had 21 and 13, Gabriel had 20, and Irpati one badavde. But here's what Jackson really noticed about Sanders. When Sanders is on, he's accurate and able to layer passes to allow the intended target the best chance to catch it and gain yards. That's not just coach speak. That's recognizing legitimate NFL-level talent. The problem? Sanders still isn't getting any reps with the first-team offense or against the first-team defense. Jackson noted that Sanders is getting more opportunities than any number. 4 quarterback has in any previous camp situation, but there's still a clear hierarchy. And that's where things get really interesting, because other NFL voices are starting to weigh in, and they're not holding back. Louis Riddick, the former NFL executive and current analyst, watched Sanders in his first training session and came away with a bold take. Riddick called Sanders the most talented quarterback on Cleveland's roster and said that if Sanders gets the same opportunities as everyone else, he could quickly emerge as the most impressive player on the entire team. But Riddick also highlighted the elephant in the room, the politics of the situation. Because Sanders was drafted later, the team might naturally give priority to other quarterbacks, particularly Gabriel, who's more established in the system. Riddick's concern is that Sanders might get very few reps in the crucial situations that would let coaches really evaluate what he can do. Kimberly A., another NFL analyst, echoed Riddick's thoughts about Sanders' talent, but stressed that he still has a lot to prove. She emphasized that Sanders needs to show he can grasp the offense completely, not just rely on his natural ability. Then there's NFL star who didn't pull any punches. He flat out said that Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett just don't have what it takes to be true starting quarterbacks in the NFL. But when it comes to Sanders, Schroeder is not the type to shy away from competition, said confidently. Whenever he gets his chance, he's going to make a difference. Went further, calling Sanders a serial winner who's proven himself everywhere he's been. I know how the outcome is going to be based on what he can do when he touches the field. He's been a winner all his life, everywhere he's went. And that same attitude and discipline and the way of playing the game of football is going to carry over in Cleveland as well.
I know how the outcome is going to be based on what he can do when he touches the field. He's been a winner all his life, everywhere he's went. And that same attitude and discipline and the way of playing the game of football is going to carry over in Cleveland as well. And this is no disrespect to the other competitors.
Now, let's break down what Jackson's actually seeing from each quarterback, because the details matter. Joe Flacco has the best arm of the group, no surprise there. But Jackson notes he's been up and down and has rarely strung completions together. The Browns are being strategic with Flacco, only giving him competitive 11-on-11 reps on 2 of the 4 days. Given his experience, they're letting him rest until he clearly separates himself from the field. Kenny Pickett threw one of the few interceptions in camp on Thursday, but he's shown off his mobility and generally gets the ball out quickly. He finished Saturday's practice with a pair of quick-release touchdown passes before suffering a hamstring injury that's now adding uncertainty to the competition. Dylan Gabriel started strong with impressive accuracy in the first 2 practices, but became erratic over the last 2 days. Jackson specifically noted that Gabriel struggled to connect with receivers in multiple settings on Saturday. And then there's Sanders, who Jackson says had his 2 best throwing days Friday and Saturday, which happened to be his busiest days in competitive situations. The key observation, Sanders is no longer getting the fewest reps, and is actually taking some series with the second-team offensive line against the second-team defense. But here's what really caught Jackson's attention about Sanders' performance: the accuracy and ball placement. When Sanders is dialed in, Jackson notes he's accurate and able to layer passes to allow the intended target the best chance to catch it and gain yards. That's advanced quarterback play, the kind of stuff that separates good college players from potential NFL starters. The Browns have been using what offensive coordinator Tommy Rees calls two-spotting, running simultaneous 7-on-7 drills on 2 fields to maximize reps. In Saturday's session, Sanders got an entire field to himself for 10 reps, while the other quarterbacks shared the other field. That's not an accident. Jackson also noted that the Browns have added special opportunity periods for rookies and backups to get extra 11-on-11 work, and in both periods so far, Gabriel and Sanders have split 6 reps equally.